Enormous evening at the MCG, expecting 60,000 plus, 90 tomorrow. Tight as I was walking in. Brisbane take on Melbourne. The winner plays Geelong next Friday night in a preliminary final. So much coming your way in the next hour and 45 minutes before this one gets underway. Nate's got a top five. Chiefs quiz. Cam Bruce, Brisbane Lions senior assistant, will join us. The cult hero, Jamie Charman, just used to fire up at this time of the year and win premierships and all sorts going on with the TV rights and people thinking about losing and changing current employers and swapping to others. Maybe a couple in this box are having second thoughts about where they're going. So that's all going to be discussed.
Wow.
And I look across at the captain who's gone the short sock ankle approach tonight. Luke Darcy, good evening to you.
Good to be here, Howie, as always, on a big final at the MCG. And form line would tell you, given what Melbourne did to Brisbane a couple of weeks back in the final round and belted them off the Gabba, that Melbourne win tonight. But finals are funny things, Howie, and strange things can happen. So I'm looking forward to tonight.
We'll delve into it later on. I'll introduce the other gentleman shortly. But obviously the TV rights, a couple in the box were very confident that 9 were going to get the football, which would have been fantastic for the industry. Now, one of these men in particular, you've seen him jump ship before. From a football club.
He's got a history.
Are you concerned that the little man to my left might be thinking about leaving the Nine Network and going elsewhere?
All I will say is now that he has God on his side, Howie, that is where he gets his decision-making from.
Right.
But he's gettable for cash anytime, anywhere. Just the highest bidder gets our man, Nate.
We'll talk about that. The Chief's happy because his network signed up another 7-year contract. Nice to see you, Chief. And this is why we come to some of the dodgy games in round 13 and round 14 to get to a game like this tonight.
100%. That's why the players are playing the game, and that's why we're watching the game and calling the game, because the finals are where reputations are made and reputations are destroyed, Howie. And we've got the reputation of a team tonight that could be destroyed if they don't butter up tonight. If they don't produce something, Brisbane, I'll tell you right
I thought you were talking about us.
They won't recover.
Right.
No, our reputation's ratchet, so it really doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, we haven't got one.
Right. Damien Barrett is here, fresh off the news about Joe Daniher. Nice to see you. I know we'll talk about it, but what's the latest, Damo?
Yeah, it's unfortunate from a spectacle point of view, isn't it, that he's not out there. It is because his partner is expecting a child, and he flew into Melbourne yesterday with the team, flew back this morning to Brisbane, so or certainly out of Melbourne, and that's pretty much all the club is prepared to even say and not even give that much. So it's a private issue. It's a decision that they've obviously accepted. From a personnel point of view, they would rather him out there, but they're fully blessing him in terms of the decision he's made.
We'll talk about that shortly. And here he is, the man of the Nine Network, Triple M, and the multimedia megastar that is Nathan Brown. Good evening to you, Nathan.
Good evening, Howard, and you're right, Duke. The Lord will tell me what to do. I mean, I've got a supernatural highway direct, and I've got a direct link, which happens. But we don't talk a lot of football in the first hour and a half. So I will say this: the 3 things the Lions must do. They need to change. They've been belted the last 2 times they played them. So if they do the same thing, they're going to get beaten again. So they have to change. Big night for Dan McStay. He's going to ruck, and he's going to ruck against Max Gawn. He needs to push forward hard and ask the questions of Max Gawn, and they need to tag Clayton Oliver. So there's the 3 things that the Lions must do tonight.
Doesn't normally talk football. I
And then
think
just
he's putting
proceeded
together a show reel on air as we speak.
Felt like an on-air audition that night.
I think it did.
Very happy with the Nine Network, Howard. Me and Damo, we're in the number 1 rating show on a Sunday morning. It has been for a long, long time. And
What are you up against?
we are up against... no, he's on our network, I think.
No, well,
Humphrey, so we roll him out after us.
Unlike the host broadcaster, Howie, we actually do 3 football shows
we
during the week.
Move him off the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that good.
Front bar's not a footy show, is it?
To the point where someone in this box texted me to find out when our grand final show was on, so they didn't have to go up against us.
That was me. And I'm happy with the decision that we're not going up against the powerhouse that is you. I think you got your grand final show on a Thursday night, haven't you?
A Thursday night, yes.
Best on ground, 7 o'clock Friday night.
That was to not go up against the rugby league with Melbourne Storm. We aren't going that well.
I think
now,
we're all
so-
avoiding the front bar, let's be completely honest.
No, not really. We're all involved in shows, are we not?
We are.
Right.
Yep.
And we're all involved in footy show. Except for Duke. He tells us how to get well some other time during the week. I'm not sure when,
He does
but
talking
he does.
footy. He does talking footy.
That
no.
hasn't been on for a while.
Oh, is that not on anymore?
It's in production hiatus.
No, he's on game day.
Is
You
we're
can
talking.
He's
visit
on
that
game day.
down at
And
the
I-
television cemetery.
And I am on special projects at the moment.
He's interviewing the weapon, Howie.
He's live and kicking, isn't he?
So
Or what is it?
Are you still telling people how to be well?
Absolutely. Tune into the House of Wellness every Sunday.
So the rest of us are involved in footy shows. And as you said, your best on ground grand final show's on the Friday night.
Yep.
Bounce is on the Thursday night.
Yep.
As is the Sunday
Footy show.
Correct?
Yep. Led
Now,
by Chompers.
There's a little whisper coming out of that. And I know that you're up for anything, Nate. That's a fair comment, isn't it? For the betterment of the show. So I'm led to believe that in the planning for your grand final show on the Thursday night, there is a little bit of, shall we say, cabaret-style entertainment, as in a little bit of...
It's called a parody.
Yes, but a bit of singing.
There is a bit of singing, and it's singing in a little bit karaoke way.
Right, so there is some singing to be done on this show.
Live or on tape?
Now, this will be live,
Right,
Howie.
but
This
the best
is
part, Howie.
entertainment.
Howie,
Right, we'll be the judge of that. Yes,
Howie, the
Chief.
best part of it all
Yes.
is that one member of the team
Yep.
has point blank refused to be involved in this parody.
Of the Channel 9 footy show?
Yes. He sits in this box.
Well, it's not Nate because he thinks he's a born entertainer.
Correct.
And the only other one could be
Damo, would I be correct in saying that you have...
I actually don't even know what's on the show, Chief.
Damo, you've just signed a new multi-million-dollar deal at AFL.com, correct? You've just butted up again.
That's recent,
You've gone to the well, filled your pockets.
You've gone to Gil.
And now that you
you've
have
gone to
such
Gil
a-
before
yeah.
he's left.
Now that you have such this incredibly high
Moral.
quality
Yeah.
reputation to maintain,
Yeah.
you think singing in a parody is beneath you, and you have told the producers won't be happening.
I have not been made aware of what the requirements on the show are.
You know exactly.
I
There
actually
will be
don't.
some singing.
I actually don't.
You were broached with singing, and what was your response?
It's not a strong suit of mine, singing, Chief.
Tell us what you
might
actually
be
told
on-
them.
You don't lie well, Damo.
You might be onto something, Chief, but I actually don't know
Look
what
at the
it
body
is.
language
Yeah.
of Damo at the moment.
Crossed
He's
arms.
He's starting to sweat big time because we know if you pay him some gaming money, he's up
Yes.
for anything. I mean,
Yes.
he'll do
That's
any
right.
sort of parody
Yeah.
for cash. But
So-
I
so
believe
that-
there's some more drama, Howie,
Oh, yes.
in the TV landscape as well because I am in production hiatus. So I've got a clear
Special project.
I've got a clear week, but I am told that that Howie's show entering the Fox market has bumped Chief to a Thursday night, and my information direct out of Fox, and I did get a call this week, is that the Chief, who's pretty unflappable these days, the Chief, has thrown the toys out of the
Not
car
at all.
in a big way and said, I don't get bumped for anyone.
No.
Are you happy with the Thursday night
That's
slot,
what I
Chief?
heard
Yes
too,
or no?
Chief.
And look,
Very happy, and I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you
Why
why.
are you happy, Chief? Because I'm told you were a very unhappy Chief.
No.
during the week.
I asked the question as to why we weren't doing our normal
I'm
Friday
close,
night.
aren't I? I'm close.
No.
I'm getting
And
close.
I was informed that the big boss, who has heavily invested
Howie.
in Howie's show,
Oh.
said he'd like it on a Friday night.
Oh.
And when the big boss speaks, we
You
all
go to
listen.
Thursday.
Yes, correct.
So the tantrum started, then
No
it worked
tantrum.
out.
No
it worked
tantrum.
out that it was.
But it's fair to say there's a new golden boy at Fox. And in fact, gold's not right. Platinum's not right. He's a diamond boy. His star just continues
Rui
to
Reebok.
shoot across the. I'm talking about Mark
Howard.
Howard, of course.
gone past.
Really? Oh, he's gone, mate. He's looking at Rui in the rear view mirror. In fact, he's out of shot now. Can't even focus on him. He's that far in front. He's got his head that far up the big boss's blurter. Seriously, he's feeling the pressure on his navel.
And Chief, that is actually close to home because
I don't know whether to laugh at that or not.
this came back to me. I was
Don't
in
snigger, whatever you do.
Chief, I was in at headquarters at Triple M this week and recording the Empowering Leaders podcast, as I do. Guest coming up,
Is this your second podcast?
Jay Bhattacharya, who you'll enjoy.
Third
And-
podcast.
and then
Third, is it?
there was a flurry of activity. It was like 8 people ran around, and just you try to talk to someone in an interview, you need to vacate the studio, you need to get out because Howie needs an hour before he records to just clear the decks and get him out. Mate, I've never been ushered out of a space quicker. So it rings true.
He's officially adopted prima donna status, hasn't he?
That's not true.
He has a rider on his contract.
That's not
that
true.
He needs space, he needs time, he needs catering done in his private areas. It's frightening.
Well, he looks like Allan, and he's taken on a persona.
Have you landed another gig this week too, Howard?
No, gig
Mail
this
is
week, very quiet.
Are we able to talk about this or not?
Cricket,
Yes.
the world feed.
So I've heard you're getting paid in US dollars now. On top of the 6x6, on
Into
top
the
of the other
into the
5x5,
offshore account.
into the offshore account.
Straight into the Cayman Islands account. Yeah.
I've been told you've landed a very big gig. to receive US dollars.
I don't know about. I haven't got myself involved in the
When someone
minutiae of the
stutters as much
contract.
as that, they're lying.
You know when someone can't look in your eye, you know straight away that they're...
Does Aaron know? Does Erica know about all the bank accounts you have?
Just the offshore one.
Aaron
Who's
certainly
Aaron?
doesn't. Eric does.
Just the offshore
It's an
one.
opportunity.
That's the second phone.
It's the Port Melbourne apartment that he visits, is it? It's all starting to come together.
Second family.
It's
come on
a
now.
midlife crisis is what's happening, Chief. It is unfolding before our
It's an
eyes.
too big.
opportunity
He
to
is
call
too
the World Cup Damo, which I haven't had the opportunity
T20
to
World
do
Cup.
for the T20 World Cup.
And who are you
host
calling it
broadcast.
for?
For the ICC, for the host broadcast.
The world
So
feed.
It goes around the world, which is...
And they pay in US
They're
dollars.
paying US
I
dollars.
believe they pay in US dollars, yes.
Right.
They
And
don't
who's
pay
calling it with you
In the
now?
offshore
So
realm.
congratulations. That's
Thank
great
you.
honour.
So Nate's our man. What would that sort of
Oh, yeah,
deal be
we
worth,
No,
Nate?
that's
For the
Here we
World
go,
Cup,
here
the
we
World Cup goes
Month-long
for
month-long
a
tournament
month
or
to
thereabouts.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
I would have
But
thought
it's an international
US
contract.
dollars too, so you've got to add 48%
Yes.
on top of that.
Session
AUD at the
Look
moment.
is part of it, I've been told.
I'm thinking $235,000 US dollars for the 5 weeks, and then that gets you up to about the 415 mark.
Right, right.
So the top 5 that I did at the start of the year,
Yeah.
I think Howard's starting to move up. I mean, he was,
the number one spot
I think-
on the Forbes media list.
I think it's time we went to a break.
and I think he is.
Big-
Absolutely,
Well,
he's gone past Gary Lyon.
He did tell us of the piles of cash last year.
What I
that
do
he
need from
couldn't
you
spend.
as friends is a way to negotiate the fact. We actually got an email 2 weeks ago and it had everybody's name who's involved in the world feed. And I did a couple of quick calculations and I'm the only person in commentary not to have played 50 plus test matches for their country. And so there's a lot of these people I've never met before and you don't do a whole game. You might jump in for 4 overs with Nasser Hussain and
Sachin.
Ian Bishop or Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid. And I'm confident in my ability to do my job, but I must admit, Damo, I saw some of the names and I shat myself as to how I'm going to go.
So the very first time you called with Ricky Ponting,
Yep.
did he know who you were?
Ricky did, but the first game I did in the Caribbean Premier League with their former captain, Darren Ganger, for the first 4 overs, I hadn't met him. I'd gone Melbourne, Sydney, New York, Panama, Guyana.
For your offshore
Walked in-
accounts.
Walked in, checked the offshore accounts, walked down, sat next to Darren Ganger, called the first 4 overs, the whole first 4 overs. He called me Howard.
That's what Browny
And we
calls
call
it.
you Howard as well.
Yeah, exactly right.
Hey, take a break here.
Just before we go to the
Go-
break,
go.
do we need to address Nathan's lack of ability in the mathematical sort of...
48% of 235.
Yeah, it came up to 400 and something. I think it's about 350, just a tick under.
I think you're right. Talking about Nath, I wandered into a
Oh, quick
studio.
calculations. Chief. Okay.
Chief, I wandered into a studio this week and there was our man doing
Oh.
his first ever cricket call.
I got sent some video.
Well, we'll talk about that
Yes.
as the show comes up.
We have had some breaking news come into the box because gentleman from the socials did come in and confirm that he had been threatened by Nathan that the Gary Lyon stuff must not go on the socials.
That is
That is fact.
That is rubbish.
That is fact.
yourself
Tommy's
down.
right behind you. Do you want to... We get him on air, shall we, Nate?
Hey?
Have some resolve, Browny. Oh,
You
I don't
quit
care.
the-
I don't care.
I'm brave.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
oh no.
Run out and completely put yourself back.
Rubbish.
Well, let's get our man on. Let's give my microphone back
Where's
there,
Beersy?
Tommy.
Beersy, get Beersy on.
Let's get him on.
Mic him up.
We need to find this out. So this is our man that delivers the social content.
And not
Beersy,
sub-
you just come and whack my headset on the boys.
Now-
All the boys will talk to you.
Not subject to a non-disclosure agreement, unlike our
No.
big nose producer.
Beersy can talk about these things. So
Speak last
Beersy, there's cameras in here now, unfortunately, in the radio box, which
I
concerns us
forget
no
about.
end. And the boys cut up the most inflammatory clip, it'd be fair to say, from the hour and 50, Chief.
Yep.
And Beersy's our man that's involved in that.
Beersy, has anyone ever come out to you and threatened you not to put something to air or not?
No, usually everyone's pretty good about just trusting the process. That maybe, creative license goes to the digital team, and
As Ross Lyon used to say, let the bakers bake, Beersy.
pretty much,
So
yeah.
Nathan asked a question to Cam Bruce, and while Cam went to answer, Nathan took the headset out and dashed out to your little enclave out the back. What did he say, Beersy?
Well, we were just having a polite chat about our cricket experience yesterday.
Yeah.
Just warmed it up, and then just went. do you mind if the top 5 just doesn't quite make it to the social?
Well done, Beersy. Your work here is done.
So, in true Triple M fashion, that now has to be published online. Okay, Busy, you have to publish that. That is what Triple M does in such moments. So.
Very good, Busy. Very good.
Nathan. So I was in the studio and I wandered past, and we know the thing I love about Nathan is he's a man with ambition, and he always wants to improve himself. Had a go at the sports role on the Today Show.
That's
Carl
right.
was behind him, but unfortunately it was going to move to Sydney. That didn't work out. Wanted to host the Sunday Footy Show in replacement of Tony
CJ
Jones.
got that.
Yeah.
That sort of didn't work
Disappointing,
out.
missed again.
But
Had a few setbacks.
Nathan is trying to round himself out, which is one of the things I love about Nathan, and I love many things
As a
about
broadcaster.
Nathan. As a broadcaster, round himself out to get into the cricket commentary space, because there's a lot of cricket to be called.
And a lot of money to be made is more to the point.
It's not about that, Chief.
Yeah,
It's exactly what
when
It's
you're
about
at the
broadening.
when you're at the top end, there is. But
So when you're getting paid in US dollars like Howard.
so Nate's working his way into it, and I wonder. And there he was, set up with Beersy and another operator doing specials, and Nath was having
Georgie Porter
having a practice call. Some called it a dummy call. I wouldn't call it a dummy call of Australia versus New Zealand. So I sat in there for 5 overs and I listened to our man.
Have we got some...
First things I want to say is I thought he was absolutely outstanding. He was calm. He was gathered. He knew all the positions. He knew the players. He was on point.
Would you compare him to something? Has he got a little bit of Tony Gregg about him? Has he got a little bit of Richie? Because most you can normally categorise someone.
It's myself, Duke.
Well, I think there was a fair bit of... I think there was a bit of Mark Nicholas to him. He was very polished.
With a real deep voice, though?
Yeah, well, see, this is a good point.
Is he going the baritone with his...
I don't think he uses his real voice in commentary in general. I have enhancement, but I think Nath goes a lower voice, and he certainly was lower in cricket. He sounded like The Rock, to be fair. But I thought he's fantastic. I'm going to bring you some audio, and I think Triple M should get him involved in cricket commentary very, very soon, because he did a fantastic job. Here's Nath doing a practice call of Australia versus New Zealand from 2 days ago.
Batting almost a foot out of his crease, and he's facing Henry, and he's banging away, and he's caught in the cover. Brilliant catch. Wow. I'm pretty sure that was by Satnam. He needed good hands and went straight to him like a rocket, but he took it. Abbott's gone for 7. Stark is the new man at the crease. He's faced 1 ball for a run, and Smith hoiks it onto the leg side. It's big, it's long, and it's over the fence for 6. Southey in the bowl, and Smith puts this one high. It's really high. It's straight up in the air. Getting underneath it is Bolt, and he makes no mistake. And Smith, the man out.
So, Chief, it's good. I thought it was fantastic, but I'm biased because I'm a big fan of everything Nathan does. You watch more sport than anyone I know. What's your summation of what you've heard?
It was okay. I wouldn't clip up a bit where I say Satner instead of Santner,
Right.
but that you probably want to get the names right. But I thought the energy was good,
Yes.
and he's picking up a little bit of the lingo. So what I would read into that is it's a project worth continuing with. I think there's potential.
And Chief, in fairness, because we like to... That's the show reel.
Yes.
That's the edited part that that's the highlights, which was great. And obviously, Nate was
Daz.
there for a little
Daz,
bit.
you're not going.
That is. We go with
You
total.
didn't get the stuff that was cut, did you?
Daz.
You're going to go with the negative, are you?
Busy just sent me the whole package. I haven't heard this yet.
no.
This could be. This could be better than the other stuff.
He's been really good tonight.
Well, Chief, I want you to have a listen to this and then give me a little bit more feedback if you could.
Cooper's Moledale, Triple M rocks footy. Another bowling change. Tim Southey comes back on. And he bowled the 2 overs early.
Another mid-session clanger there, but we'll move on.
I go the footy again tonight. Yeah. Cooper's Moledale, Triple M rocks footy. Again, I've gone rocks footy. It's not cricket. It just comes natural, Duke, to say Triple M rocks footy as we do, and it takes a little bit of a time to adjust to Triple M rocks cricket, but we certainly did a good job yesterday, and even though he's put me in it today, Beersy was very good in the special comments.
How do you think you went? How do you think you went, and what are you going to do to progress? Because honestly, I thought it was fantastic. Are you going to get a role this summer? What's the next step?
I've got no idea, Howard. It's a process, and I'm just starting out, and as you did your first football call with Ash Stewart many years ago, that was the first time I've ever called cricket out loud or live, and I did enjoy it. I really like cricket. I love cricket, and I enjoyed it yesterday. It wasn't the greatest game to call. The Aussies were in a lot of trouble early, and I believe the first 45 minutes was corrupted when all the wickets went down. So, but I did enjoy it.
Are you passionate about the game?
Yes, I am.
'Cause I
Steve.
think
I
that
didn't
tends
miss
to come
a
out.
one-day international when I was younger. You'd sit there, you get on at 10:20, and you'd watch the whole day's play. Obviously, cricket, not many people watch it that way anymore. It was must-watch, and I still watch cricket. I love cricket, and I want to be part of it.
Were you a good cricketer as a junior?
I was okay.
Played a bit? You would have got bounced a bit.
Well, Brian's just wandered into the back of the box, and Brian's had some experience in cricket himself. I don't know if we've got a chance to just have a very quick word to Brian, who is looking resplendent, calling it the 7 tonight. He's got the black tie and the black suit on in deference to the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. Brian's not a man that normally walks past a microphone. No, I think
And when Brian wanders in, he's normally got something to get off his chest.
Have a chat with us.
Here he
Great
is.
to hear the voice of Channel 7 football. Will be calling the grand final and the voice of Triple M football. Brian Taylor. Good evening, Brian.
Howie.
You look fantastic, and great to see. I must say, you're dressed in black with a black tie in deference to the passing of the Queen.
Do you think anyone would have noticed if we turned up in a normal suit?
No, but I think it's a really, really nice touch. Hey, you're a man that called cricket in the early days. Nathan's trying to go in the space. What are your memories of the early days of the Fox call of the cricket?
I would advise him to learn who the captains were of each country, never mind state. Just get the right captains for the country.
You famously called with Allan Border, who was
I
very
did. Who
supportive.
gave me nothing, and I'm sitting there at the Wacker one particular day, and he's giving me absolutely nothing. AB, former captain of Australia, very, very more grumpier than I am, and so he's giving me nothing, and I'm going along, and there's this guy out in the Wacker, and he's hitting 4s and 6s, and his name's Chris Gale, and he's just hitting them all over the park. And I said to him, it's sort of a bit of an accident, I wasn't quite thinking clearly, but I said to him, do you think this guy will get a game with the West Indies? And he said very politely, he's the captain. So didn't do a lot of cricket after that.
But changing sports, you've called all sorts. What advice would you give Nate? Because in all seriousness, he did a fantastic job doing a dummy call.
What are you doing? Why have you got the shits you've missed out on the footy, and so you're sort of moving on now to greener
just
pastures?
Rounding out the broadcasting, Brian. So I do enjoy calling
Swimming?
football.
Does swimming appeal to you?
Not as much as cricket. No.
Right, because
No.
cricket's a bigger payer.
Yeah.
A bit longer in length in terms of season.
He might need some more advice too, BT, because you made the mistake, and he's now very worried about it.
Yeah.
He criticised Gary Lyon on air today,
Oh, gee.
and that usually
Said he
gets
was one of the
fed back.
great self-inserters of our
So
time.
what advice would you give him now? Because
Carried on
busy-
after Melbourne won the flag, he said.
Made it about
Oh,
him.
He then tried to get busy to not put it on social media
did he?
platforms, but we've made sure that's going to be taken care of. So what would you
My
suggest he
advice
do
now would be don't bother applying for any of those jobs, because he has long tentacles and they seem to reach places. Sort of
You know, I reckon-
half agree with you. They shouldn't reach,
Do you know
but
where I
they do.
think BT should be utilised?
Yes.
Is in the old Darryl Eastlake the weightlifting.
weightlifting. The Com Games
I've always
Olympics.
pictured Bristol calling a bit of weightlifting. Have you ever thought about that, Bristol, or not?
Well, I have, but as you know, Das, when you go and do the Olympic Games or the Commonwealth Games, you get locked up in Sydney in a box for 14 days, and that's not a lot of fun.
And
So,
finally,
unless I'm getting a trip out of it, a bit of free accom and a free steak every now and then, and a bit of fun, I ain't going.
But before we let you go, Brian, obviously a new television deal announced. Wonderful that Channel 7's continuing their long association with football.
Likewise with Fox. And
Nath was very confident that 9 were going to get a piece of it. Now, you've
Yes.
called for Fox. You've called for 9. You now have called for 7. Should Nath try and transition himself or weasel his way into a job at another network? And how have you managed to do it so successfully?
Well, it's 9 years, Nath, and it's a long time to be waiting on, mate. So I would suggest you put the application in.
We're very happy at Channel 9, Brian.
Probably pass it by the 2IC and Luke Darcy over there, and give
Special
him the
projects. Just Luke
special
Darcy.
projects over there.
Can you see a role for him at 7, Nathan? He's a very accomplished caller.
We're
Very happy at Channel 9, Howard.
No, we're missing a few, so we'd love to have Nath over there. He'd fill the odd hole or two.
The odd hole. Hey, Brian, we appreciate it.
No, he's a ripper, Brownie. He's going to be doing our job soon.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Hey, great to see you, mate. Good luck with the call tonight, and more importantly, good luck with the grand final couple of weeks' time. We'll all be watching it on 7.
It hasn't been announced yet, but good luck, Brownie.
Right.
Thank you, bro. Hey, Charmo, speaking of angry men, now, it would have been about a decade ago, and you're at a pub in Melbourne, and you're with Lepper, and you're with Michael Voss, and there was a young reporter called Damien Barrett there, and I'm led to believe that Damien is alive today thanks to Jamie Charman, because you were the one that was holding Lepper back to getting Damien.
Oh, I don't want to dob Lepper in here, but I did take him out of a situation with some journalist one night. At, I think it's your pub, Dars. And,
Yeah, it was.
Really?
Mate, mate, he wasn't very happy. He was, I think he'd literally just got sacked from the club, and like, obviously he wasn't too happy with some of the media reports.
I do owe my life to you intervening there, Jamie, and I have thanked you for that. In fact, I thanked you about 3 months ago for it. We bumped into each other.
Mate, yeah, mate, he wasn't too happy that night, the Big Frank the Tank, but he, mate, I got him in an Uber very quickly, and I think he gave me a bit of a spray on the way home for taking him home early too.
Hey, Charmo, as Lynchy tells it, so we take it with a grain of salt. You may have been the first one that discovered the interesting toilet habits of your coach, your great coach. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, wow. Well, we actually, Russell Athletic, we were this American company that sponsored us, and they used to send us over all this kit. So we used to come with like literally gridiron tops that were like 3/4 tops that when it first rocked up. And then they brought out this blue tights when tights came in. I had this big Russell Athletic down the side. Anyway, we just got them, and they'd laid all the kit out for all of us literally to wear. And I was the only one who put the tights on that night. And just before training, and I went to the urinal and dropped them right down to the ankles, and lo and behold, my coach came, who right beside me, and next thing you know, I was standing beside the great man, and he was asking me that I had a particularly unusual way of actually urinating at the urinals. I don't know if I can say too much about that. Put me in a situation there. Holy dooly.
Yeah. Jamie, famous era that you were part of, and you played in the third of the 3 in a row. That was a famous game in itself for the amount of painkillers that were used. And the feeling in the room that day with so much going on and so many people being underdone, and then yet going out to face Collingwood and absolutely blowing them away. I dare say that was the highlight for you.
Yeah, it's certainly a highlight. Look, I guess 2002, I pretty much played pretty much every game that year, and got dropped just before the grand final. So 2003 was very special. So we've got the 2002 reunion, 20-year reunion this year that Pikey's put on, and Martin Pike. And look, I'm holding the 2003 reunion, Darth, only because that one's probably the most special out of them all. So it's only because I played in it, but it's certainly, mate, it was amazing. And there's some, Nigel Lappin, the way he came out and played after adversity and all that sort of stuff. But it's, it's certainly something I'll remember for the rest of my life, Darth.
Jamie, we'll get out of your hair and let you back to your fancy wines, but good luck to you in the Lions. Great to hear you doing so well in life and in the business world. It's great to speak to you on the Friday.
Well done, Charmo.
Thanks, Howie. Thanks, boys. Thanks, Darcy. Bye.
Great to speak to Jamie Charman.